Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. First, let me apologize for having to make a second part to a video that didn't need a second part if I would have been just allowed to keep going. So go watch the first video for context. As I was saying, I lost a sparring match, but the guy wouldn't fight me again for like 2 weeks and some change. And then he went back to New York, never seen him again, never heard from him again until my cousin passed. And then my cousin passed, he started that bullshit again. And I tell you guys this before, and I sit outside from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And this asshole never showed up. But down the road, everybody would tell me how this guy was an ISK champion, blah, 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 blah. And like I said, I tell you all of this shit. So because of the mood that I'm in, that's the long and short. Now, as I was saying, if you watch my 3 videos from TikTok, which are like 10 minutes apart, let's home in on a couple of facts. Alright? Couple of facts. So, first and foremost, now I find the damn black tape that I've been looking for. Murphy's Law. Alright. This is a Kung Fu gi. Yeah, the pants. Technically, it's not called a gi because it's Kung Fu. So we'll just call it a uniform. And my pants hit the ground. So you have the old school. It's not leather. I mean, not leather. It's not silk. Silk ones are much better. Probably not as durable as this damn thing. But this is my Kung Fu uniform. Alright. Did not use this in any dojos. Bought it so that when I switched over from karate to Kung Fu, I would at least look the part. It's very comfortable, at least it was at that time. I don't rock the shit now because God only knows if I can still fit it. I'm sure I can still fit the shirt. Probably can still fit the pants, but irrelevant. What is relevant is that Kung Fu uniform does not make me Bruce Lee. It also does not make me Chinese in any way, shape, or form. Alright? So let's get that out of the way. And if you were Chinese and I just offended you, I am sorry. If you're Asian on any level and I just offended you, I am sorry. But I'm also telling the truth. I'm not Chinese. I am part Native American, but I am not, and I will more than likely never be Chinese unless I play a Chinese mixed kid on TV. Therefore, shit. Now, the guts and glory of the whole damn thing is I have to blow my nose. Figure out what I'm gonna do for dinner. Hopefully my nose is clean and there's nothing hanging from it. We can check that while we talk, because I don't go anywhere without my mirror in my pocket. I keep shit real with y'all. Y'all know this shit. So as I was saying, guy never showed back up. Later he would become an ISK champion. So family members who were there, and some who were not there, wouldn't let me live this defeat down. And they would always throw it in my face. That's why that dude from New York beat your ass. That dude from New York beat your ass. And I'd have to tell him, 1, it wasn't a real fight, it was a sparring match. 2, he couldn't beat my ass the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 14th day that I kept begging for an ass whipping. And as my nephew, who's won more than 5 fights, would say, if I beat you once, I ain't gonna fight you again. Then you ain't a fighter. And like, what? I said, I'm old school. If you beat me once, you shouldn't have a problem beating my ass again. You really shouldn't. But you will, because I trained for that very fucking scenario that if you beat me once, you will never beat me again. Whether it be a sparring match or a real fight, you will never beat me again. I've lost maybe 5 sparring matches in my entire life. I've never lost a fucking real fight. Ever. When I got jumped on my job, when I got jumped when I was 15, I've never lost a fucking physical fight that was real. Sparring match is a sparring match. That day, motherfucker just got more skills than you. When it comes down to when it counts, when it's a real fight, when your life is on the line, Echo Fan Grey Wolf ain't lost a motherfucking thing. You understand me? Now, everybody else can't really say that. That asshat from New York, he can't say that. But he's a champion, and family members pointed that shit out. And then I pointed that shit out. Well, where was he for 14 days and 2 days more when I begged him to beat my ass again and again and again? Because, you know, he's such a badass, he should be able to beat me more than one time. Now, on a somber note, he never fought me again. Ever. And when he talked all that shit in the church, he started it. I was going to finish it. I sat outside in my front yard in a wrestling fold-up chair, waiting for him to show up. He never showed up. And so I say again, it is not where you from. It is what you can do. Don't ever forget that. Don't let anybody tell you, well, I'm from the worst part of town in this city in this state. And so fucking what? Do you have a gun? Do you have a knife? Are you going to shoot me? Are you going to stab me? Or are you going to fight me like a man and square up? Now, you might beat my ass if you square up. You might not. That's how fights work. You don't know how that shit's going to work until the fight fucking starts. You don't know how it's going to end until the fight ends. And everybody on the internet kind of leaves that shit out. And you see motherfuckers that's got partners and they demonstrate and, you know, they generally talk that shit out and, you know, don't forget to tap. If I'm hurting you, you know, tap. That's real shit. Tap. Now, you don't hurt your training partners. Shout out to Ramsey Dewey, who has to keep reminding people, do not hurt your training partners. You don't hurt your training partners. But that asshole on the street that wants to start some shit, you can show him this much mercy, which means you don't have to kill him, but you can make him wish that he was dead. Alright? It's not that difficult. Now, some things that people leave out is that a lot of people get these martial art belts and think that they can rule the world and think that they can beat everybody. A belt just makes you a high-ranking member of your school. Whether you are a black belt, a blue belt, a red belt, a green belt, yellow belt, whatever. That belt is your educational moment to let you know that you done something right. You broke a block. You broke a brick. You broke something that would put you in the manner of, I earned this belt. Which you did. I'm not taking that from you. But don't let I earned this belt lead you into a false sense of security or a false prophet of, I'm a badass. Because that's not how that works in the real world. And as I said in my videos on TikTok, your belt only counts in the dojo. Your belt only counts in the wrestling arena if you are a wrestling champion. Your belt only counts in the UFC while you're in the UFC. And as you know, in the UFC, you lose a belt. You know, you get to keep the one that when you was a champ, you get your own. But like the company belt, that goes to the guy who beat your ass until he gets his belt. And then if he loses that belt, his belt goes to the thing. Because, you know, they have a company belt. All companies have a company belt. Now, as far as like Taekwondo dojos and all that shit, I believe they have a trophy. I don't think you really get a company belt, but they have a trophy, and you get your trophy or whatever. And so, that being said, you'll get the trophy, where you get the company belt, and you know, motherfuckers are they'll give you that. Sorry, distracted by wrestling. Just in case y'all thought I was crazy. I give y'all 99.9. Now, when you leave the company belt you don't get. You get a belt made out of gold or whatever the hell the material is. That's yours forever. Because that's the same thing with like your Olympic medals. That's yours forever. You know. But, you know, to be honest, you know, when you're done, you get yours and you go home. The company belt that stays with whatever company they get. They don't get that belt. That's that belt that's always aired on TV and in arenas and shit like that. But your personal belt, that shit's at home, sitting on your desk because it's yours. And it's still real, still made out of the same damn shit, but it's yours. So when you lose the title, the company title goes to whoever the hell else got the belt. A lot of people don't realize how that works. Let me get something else to drink. Hold on. Okay, getting that out of the way. So, the company keeps that belt. You have your own belt. Everybody does this shit. Now you know. Anyway, because this shit got expensive trying to replace that motherfucking belt. Anyway, so now you have your own belt. You're doing your own thing. And you're in great shape. Now, out of the professional circuit, you leave your dojo. You have a black belt. Everybody in your school knows how good you are. They know you're fantastic, you're great, you're excellent. What they don't know is, can you fight outside the dojo? You will find that out, either the easy way or the hard way. But do not let your black belt be a misleading factor of what's going to happen. Because you get a black belt, first degree, second degree, fifth degree, 19th degree if it goes that goddamn high. That does not mean that you can beat somebody who's never been in a fight a day in their life. That does not mean that you can't beat another 15th, 19th, whatever degree black belt there is. That is an ultimate question, so we are going to ask that of Google. Because I've always wanted to know. Because I've never known, and I'm a martial artist. What is the highest degree of black belt can you be?
According to National Karate, the 10th degree is only awarded to those martial artists who have given a lifetime to the furtherance of the martial arts and have demonstrated a lifetime of significant achievement.
So 10th degree is high as it can be. What is the highest degree of black belt you can be in Kung Fu? Kung Fu doesn't use belts.
According to National Karate, the 10th degree is only awarded to those martial artists who have given a lifetime to the furtherance of the martial arts and have demonstrated a lifetime of significant achievement.
Okay, so 10th degree. Are there any degrees higher than the 10th degree? Hold on. Let's see if I can re-question this shit. That's not what it was supposed to be. When do you become a sensei or a sifu in martial arts?
According to the Dojo Shorinkan, WordPress.com, this period typically lasts from first degree black belt to third degree black belt. When a student has proven they understand the principles that govern the art they are teaching at the appropriate level and how to guide people through learning them properly, then they may qualify to be awarded the title of sensei.
When do you become a teacher of martial arts? At what degree?
According to ZipRecruiter, to become a martial arts instructor, you will not need to meet any educational requirements beyond a high school diploma or equivalent, but an associate or bachelor's degree in business can be very helpful, especially if you want to open your own dojo or training center.
Yeah, I learned that like 20 years too late because I was always told you had to be a 5th degree black belt to open up your own school. So somebody lied to me to keep me down. That's how that works. If you are a 5th degree black belt, are you allowed to open up a school? This bitch said 50th. If you are a 5th degree black belt, Are you allowed to open up a school in what states? Yeah, see, it can't give me a definitive answer. Wish they would have had Google and Jeeves all together back when I was younger. Let's see. How do you legally become a martial arts practitioner? It says an instructor. Martial arts is an art form of practitioners. We are be the artists, hence practitioners of the martial arts, or one who trains in martial arts is called a martial artist. Results of painting, sculpting, dancer, and according to the type of artist, it's simply uniquely formed. Okay, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. How can I legally be a martial art practitioner? How do you get a license in martial arts? How do you get a license in martial arts? If you spent years learning practical martial art disciplines, you might be thinking you'd open a business like this is not what I asked for. See, that's the lies and misconceptions, which goes back to that belt system. Alright? And this is why I say don't put too much false hope into your belt system. Don't think that your belt leads you to an automatic victory. Don't think your belt makes you the baddest man on the planet. A lot of people get into this concept of, I got a black belt. I got a 5th degree black belt. I got a 10th degree black belt. Big fucking deal. You can get really unlucky fighting somebody like me. Or you can get really lucky fighting somebody like me. It just depends on that day of the week. Now, if I beat your ass and I leave you the fuck alone, cool. If I beat your ass and you come back, I promise you, I'm going to beat your ass again. But when I beat your ass the second goddamn time, I'm going to make sure you know to not fuck with me no more. And this is where people get shit fucked up. There are many ways to solve problems with fighting. Alright? If I beat you severely enough that you know that you don't want no more part of me, then it's done. I know it's done. You know it's done. A lot of people have the never say die syndrome. I am also one of those people. I am the never say die mixed guy. I promise you, if you beat my ass, I'm coming back for more. I'm that guy you're going to have to kill to stop. That's the difference between me and all these, oh, I got a black belt. Okay, you got a black belt. Yippee-ki-yay for you, motherfucker. That don't mean a damn thing to me. Now, one damn thing, because I can tell you what's going to happen. You can have your black belt all you fucking want. But did you earn it by fighting? Or did you earn it by breaking some bricks and doing some kata, staging a fight, and carrying on? Now, again, I'm going to get a lot of fucking shit from martial artists. But before you put anything shitty in the comments about what I just said, ask yourself, is Echo right? Did I get to fighting to earn this belt? Because anybody can break a brick. A brick can't get out the way. Anybody can break a board. A board can't get out the way on its own. And as for katas, I could do without them, just like I could do without the whole belt system. But, you know, this is the American rules of katas, brick breaking, board breaking, and goddamn belts. Alright? My brain function won't let me remember how Tosan and Tungu went for Taekwondo. But if we are in a sparring match where the shit is legit fist and kicks coming at me, click, that switch is on. Come. I'm going to do what I was taught to do before I learned katas. Because when I started off at 7 years old, I was in a freestyle karate class. There were no katas. There was no bullshit behind it. It was, this is how you punch. This is how you kick. If you're smart, you can throw a forearm. If you're sharp with them elbows, you can throw an elbow. When I switched from karate to kung fu, I kept the same thing. I never fucking wavered from doing kicks and punches. Only with karate, hands were shut, and with kung fu, hands were open until impact. I took that part off. I'm not gonna remember to doom and close that shit on you at impact. I'm trying not to die. You throwing a punch at me, boom, boom, I'm gonna throw a punch at you. Same thing with Kempo. My hands are loose but tight. They're loose enough that I can hit you without hurting myself, but they're tight enough that I can hit you without hurting myself. Because your hands are the easiest things to break. If you hit somebody on solid bone and you don't know how to hit somebody properly, you're going to break your own fucking hand. I'm sure martial artists are probably going to give me some shit about that too. But anytime you crack somebody and you doing this, you swung too goddamn hard. Or they ass ain't got no glass jaw. They got a steel jaw. They got a steel chin. And you can fuck your shit up. So you have to learn how to throw a punch without damaging yourself. That's why all of this down here is what you want to try to hit with. The key to that was the word try. Because a lot of people, you're going to knuckle them up whether you like it or not. Because a lot of people just don't understand that you ain't always going to get that perfect where all of this hit somebody versus all of this. Now, you've seen both of the fists, but you kind of want most of the flush to hit them. Now, if you got fatty knuckles, you good. I don't have fat knuckles. My knuckles are bony as fuck. You can see them motherfuckers. You can't see them like this very well, but when I bend them bitches, you can see them motherfuckers. So you got to know how to hit somebody when you got like more knuckles exposed. I got a cousin. He broke his hand hitting somebody in the face. And I was like, there's a level to how you throw a punch. You do not put everything you have behind a punch. I know everybody be like, oh, but yeah, you do. And I was like, no, you don't. Because if you miss, you're fucked. And if you hit them the wrong way, you're going to break your motherfucking hand. So, what good is that going to do? What good is that going to do if I throw a punch and I break my hand? Now I'm one weapon down. And let's say that hit, don't shake your shit. Don't rock your shit. Don't phase you. Don't daze you. If anything, it just pisses you off. And you like take that shit. You like, oh, you done it now, buddy. I've done that. Where I've literally tagged somebody and ain't do shit to their motherfucking ass. I've told y'all that story. He was 13, I was 15. He was damn near 7 feet tall, and I was a couple of inches shorter than I am now. Those golf cleats saved my life. I don't take that whole victory lightly. And I know that if I wasn't scared, that big motherfucker probably would have beat my ass. But I was scared as shit. But I was scared that I was going to die. And I knew I was going to have to do what I had to fuck to do to take that dude out. And I did that shit. Him and I never had another problem after that. And people in West Haven stopped calling me Danielle's son. They also stopped calling me Karate Kid and stopped calling me Kung Fu No. They knew right after that shit. Don't fuck with that little fucker. And up in high school, those same people who wouldn't fuck with me in the streets, they bullied me all the time. And some of them even more so until I catch them by themselves. So it's like, yeah, you can talk all that shit when you got people backing your ass up. Now it's just you and me. What you got? It's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. And the thing is, people fail to understand that this thing here can get you in a fight. It can get you out of a fight if you know how to play the game. But to be honest, if somebody wants to fight you, all the talking in the world ain't gonna really talk them down. I had a guy who wanted to beat my ass when we was in like the 4th or 5th grade. I think it was the 4th grade because I failed the 4th grade. His name was Roger. He would later wind up dating my cousin, so stay tuned because this is important. Roger didn't like me because somebody told Roger that I said something about his mama. Now, here's the fucked up thing. I never seen Roger's mama a day before in my motherfucking life. Never. My mama looks white. So what the fuck I look like talking about somebody else's mama? But apparently somebody told Roger that I said something about his mama. Now, I had an unfamiliar bodyguard named George Hawkins. Thank you, George. But you really didn't need to protect me because I could protect myself very well. George kept us apart for a year. A whole motherfucking year. I was breakdancing and all that shit. And after the breakdancing is when all this bullshit started. Like I said, I still never saw Roger's mama a day in my goddamn life. I still don't know what the woman looks like, and hopefully she's still alive. Everybody knew what my mama looked like, because how else would I be a zebra or a half-breed all my life? Now, Roger, if he's mixed, the only thing that you could tell he was mixed is that he had naturally blonde hair, but he was darker than me. And he had very beautiful eyes for a man. Don't take that personally, because I don't swing that route. So, every day after school, George would make me run home. I'd be in the big children's park, George would make me run home. I'd be in a little children's park, George would make me run home. And Roger would be on my heels. Once or twice, George done grabbed him and put him in a bear hug so that he wouldn't fuck with me. Now, years later, because we never got to fight. Now, there's two people that's very thankful for that. I'm not one of them. Just putting that out there. I'm not one of them. Because I looked at it like this. Either he gonna beat my ass or he not. Because that's how reality works. Either he gonna beat my ass or he's not. Because either he gonna beat my ass or I'm gonna beat his. Or if we both blessed, we might knock each other the fuck out. But George didn't let that fight happen. He never let that fight happen. So years later, Roger is dating my cousin Tasha. They come down to the house. I was like, yeah, this is Roger. Y'all remember Roger? Said, yeah, I remember Roger. And Roger's like, you kin to him? I said, yeah. He said, oh, fuck. I said, no. And I said, we do need to have a little talk, though. He's like, what? I said, yeah, we need to have a motherfucking talk. He's like, what about? I said, remember back in the 4th grade when you wanted to beat my motherfucking ass? I would like to know why you wanted to beat my ass. I said, man, first and foremost, I'm sorry. I said, you ain't got nothing to be sorry for. You just got to tell me why you wanted to beat my ass. He said, man, somebody told me that you said something about my motherfucking mama. I said, you realize in the 4th grade, I never saw your fucking mama. I said, to be honest, I didn't even know you really lived in the projects. And I said, I never saw your mama a day in my motherfucking life. Even when we did the talent show, I didn't meet your mama. I spent more time with my father because he was going out of town than your mama. I said, so you hunted me down for almost a year in the projects because somebody lied to you and said I said something about your mama. And then he said the most awesomest fucking thing that no one has said to me before and no one has said to me since. And it wasn't, I'm sorry. Because we were like fucking grown by then. It wasn't, I'm sorry. He said some shit that caught me the fuck off guard. And it really caught me the fuck off guard. So pay attention to this shit. He said, man, I didn't know how good of a fighter you was. Until that day I saw you beating that dude that was 3 times your size in that park. You see how all this shit's coming together now? I said, you saw that? He said, yeah, man, I saw that shit. I am so glad that George Hawkins did not let us fight. I saw you beat that big motherfucker up, and it fucked me up. And I was like, and I wanted to fight that little motherfucker. And I told him, I was like, motherfucker, I was so scared of you, but I knew 2 things were gonna happen. Either you was gonna whoop my ass, or I was gonna whoop yours. It just won't no thing about it. I just wanted to know why you wanted to fight me when I never did shit to you in school. I never bothered anybody in school. I stayed away from every fucking body. I didn't bother nobody. I said, I thought maybe you didn't like me because I hung with Chavis or some shit. Chavis was another friend of mine. And thanks to Chavis, I lost my virginity at 10 years old by a 12-year-old girl. Anyway, shout out to Chavis. Anyway, so Roger, he explained to me that somebody had told him that I said something about his mom. And then he explained to me, I am really glad that we did not get to fighting. And then he asked me, he said, you still doing that kung fu shit? I said, every motherfucking day, bro. Every motherfucking day. He's like, yeah, I'm never gonna fuck with you. Fuck that shit. He said, if I would have known that you was that good back then, I wouldn't have been fucking with you. Now, the funny thing about him seeing me in that fight with the big guy, he didn't live in the projects no more. He literally was gone by like the 5th or 6th grade. Roger was no longer living in the projects. So I don't know how the fuck he saw it. I don't know if he really saw it or if somebody told him about it and he just told me he saw it. I can only tell you what I saw in that fight. It was me and that guy. I didn't see nobody else in the entire fight but me and the big guy. That was it. Never saw nobody. I might have seen some people past him, but but I was too focused on not getting fucking dead. So, like I said, this is where point of view and perspective come into hand. My perspective was really simple. I hit him 3 times with the left, not counting the first time. The first time I hit him and I didn't shake him, that's when I knew I was fucked up. I hit him, he pushed me back, I slid into a fight position. He got up, and my life flashed before me. And it was like my soul jumped out my body and looked at my body and said, "You fucking dead, I'm gonna be right here." And my body looked back at my soul, "Psh, I got this motherfucker." And I had it. I didn't think I was that good. Now, mind you, 4 days prior to that, minus Wednesday, I got into fighting all week long. Only 2 of them was physical. The other one was an argument and they ran. And then the last one was, you hit me with that stick, I'm going to hit you with this pipe. You get to go first. No. And that was from a wrestling match when I got jumped playing Rugged Ronnie Garvin. Shout out to Rugged Ronnie Garvin. So after that, when I had to fight the big guy and I had those golf cleats on, my whole life changed. Nobody wanted to fuck with me no more. At least not after seeing what I could do. Now during that fight, like I said, I hit him 3 times with my left. Everybody else who saw it told me I hit that motherfucker like 15 times. That's not possible. I don't remember that shit. They said, well, sometimes when you get into a fight, shit shuts down. I said, nothing shut down. I remember throwing 3 left punches because I knew he had asthma, and I knew if I could induce him into asthma, I could survive the fight. I didn't have to induce him into asthma, but I came pretty close. And when his mom showed up and she grabbed me, my hand felt like it was on fire. I wanted to hit her, but I knew, and I don't know how I knew. I knew that if I hit her with this hand, I probably would have killed her. And I could feel it. And I've only had that happen a few more times since then. But I have control now. I can't shoot fireballs, but I have control. But my hand literally felt like it was on fire. It looked like I stepped my hand in a bottle of gasoline and turned the match on. That's how hot my hand felt. But I didn't hit her. And then I took my foot to the dude's face. And then the cops came. And that cop specifically, Granger, God rest his soul, he picked them up, dusted them off, sent them on their way. Jumped all down my shit. Told me that if I got into one more fight over there, he would evict our family. And I straight told him, fuck you, we're moving anyway. Now, the funny thing was, I didn't know we was moving. But it's also funny how everybody I got to fighting that week was way bigger than me. But I'm the bad guy. So, and then that summer is when I got in trouble with my dad because I got my ass kicked boxing. Because I'm not a boxer. And this boxer that lived next door named Corey just had to fucking beat my ass, And I told my aunt just the other day, I said, nah, we had one rule. Do not hit everybody as hard as you can. And this is how I found out that it's better to be tougher than stronger. Because Corey was stronger. He was way stronger. He was way bigger. But he wasn't tougher. And that was his problem. As he thought that he could knock me out because I was tiny. This is why I tell people, there are certain elements in fights that you gotta, take that shit, throw that shit out your head. The size of your opponent, your black belt, where you from, none of that shit mean a hill of beans to nobody but you. In that dojo, that's where that belt comes. In the arena, if you are champion of this sport right here, that's where that belt counts. When you're in the UFC, if you're a champion, that's where that belt counts. When you out in the streets, man, there ain't no fucking belts. There ain't no whole bunch of goddamn rewards outside the fact that you made it through with a black eye and a busted lip and a busted nose, but the other guy looks like he got hit by a fucking train. That's your reward. You survived that shit. Nothing more, nothing less. People fail to remember that shit because they watch too many movies or they ain't really seen people fight in real life in the streets. They used to watch a lot of UFC. They used to watch a lot of wrestling. And they know that wrestling the moves is real. The trash talking shit, for the most part, is fake. But let somebody put your ass in a power bomb or a body slam, and then you get back with me and let me know if you think that shit's fake after that. I have been power bombed. I have been body slammed. Playing wrestling. The moves are real. And before the power bomb was a real thing, I accidentally got power bombed. So, it happens. Maybe that's where they got that. Maybe somebody was spying on me and David when we was wrestling all the goddamn time in the backyards. Anyway, moving on. Damn you. Anyway, it's not where you're from. It's what you can do. Your reputation can lie. You can have a good reputation of being one of the greatest fighters on the planet, and all it takes is one mistake for you to get your ass beat. And that's just the way it is. It only takes one motherfucking mistake, and before you fucking know it, somebody done beat the fuck out you. And I have to tell this to people all the time, because I had an argument with my nephew 2 weeks ago. Now, mind y'all, I told you about this, and I also told y'all I had a problem with his big brother, who kept fucking with me until he turned 18. And I like to explain this to everybody. I don't give a fuck how big you are. I have one mission once you swing at me. And that mission is to fucking end your shit. No ifs, no ands, no buts. That shit is to end your shit by any means necessary that these things and these things allow me to do. And that includes forearms and elbows and knees. I'm not going to go get a weapon. I don't need that. I am the weapon. Now, the real question is, am I going to be able to stop myself from doing what I need to do before I cross that threshold of putting you from going to the hospital into going to the morgue? That's what I have to worry about, because I've been trained to kill people. Literally, before I got in the army, I was trained by a Green Beret. So I know how to unalive your shit with a motherfucking spoon and a fork and a plastic knife too. So I'm not hyping myself. I'm just letting it be said, There's a lot of shit that I know how to kill you with. Some of them don't even look like weapons. So understand that shit. Anything can kill you in the right person's hands. Don't ever forget that shit. But also remember, it's what you can do. It's not where you are from. How many fights have you been in? Yeah, you've been in more than 5 fights. Big fucking whoop the goddamn do. You're fighting someone who's been alive before your parents have been alive. Now, you can get lucky. But ask yourself, if I get lucky, what's to stop this motherfucker from coming back to fuck my shit up? Because you don't know. You don't. I have been blessed for people who I have beaten up not to come back with a gun and shoot my shit. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I have been blessed for that shit not to happen. So thank you, God, for that. But there's some things you gotta understand. Nobody hurts you more than family. And when my nephew pulled that shit, I've been in more than 5 fights. Okay, you've been in more than 5 fights. I've been fighting since before your mama came out my mama. I've been fighting before your daddy came out of his daddy. I am 49 years old and you 23. We had boxing matches where you couldn't go another motherfucking round, but you've had more than 5 fights. And we just playing. So think about when that shit gets serious. There's no breaks in fights. Well, there's breakage. When I break your elbow, or your kneecap, or your fucking arm, or your goddamn neck, there are breaks that way. But if I'm beating your ass, like I'm beating your ass, you think I'm gonna fucking stop? You really think I'm gonna take a break, stop, and let you get back up? No, fuck that shit. If I beat you, and I knock you down, and you've had enough, I'm gonna tell you this: what you need to do. Get up and go. Don't come back near me. And we good. But if you get up and you go and you decide, I'm going to come back for another round, may God have mercy on your soul. Because I let you go the first time. I'm not going to let you go the second time. I have learned this one too many times, that sometimes letting people go is a bad fucking idea. It's a really bad fucking idea. Now, I told you earlier about how the security guard cop told us that we moving the fuck out. And I didn't know we was moving out. Well, when we moved over to Rougemont, First damn day I came back from fucking summer in Smithville. I had to choke a guy out 3 times in the same fucking day because he wouldn't let me go home and because he literally laughed in my face and said, "Don't let me hurt you. Ha ha ha. You 5 foot nothing. You're 100 and nothing." And when I put him in this hole first, it's a rear neck and choke, and I revved up on him and my knee was in his back, I let him go. Then I locked him in this one, pulled up on him, I let him go. Then I put him in the Cobra Clutch, and I told him, you know what? I let you go twice. And 2 times you could have got off your ass and walked the fuck back home. But you want to be a badass, don't you? But you don't know me. You don't know who the fuck I am. You don't know the shit I've been through. And now you about to understand that size does not matter in a fight. Skills do. You're about to understand because I'm smaller than you does not change the fact that I can still kill you. And this is why I tell people, don't believe that shit about size mattering. The only time size matters is when you were having sex with a girl. That is when size matters. When you were in a fight, nobody gives a fuck about your size or your weight class. And especially when you in the street. Now, when you in this particular sport, I'm going to buy that game as soon as I find some money. When you are in wrestling, when you're in the UFC, when you're in a professional setting where your size matters or your skill records, like if you're red belts, I don't know if they do sizes or whatever when you're doing tournaments, but I do know that if they do weight classes or whatever, they're going to put you with somebody specifically in your weight or your height or whatever for tournaments. Let's find out to confirm that. In Taekwondo tournaments, in tournaments of Taekwondo, how do they...
According to Johnson's martial
It won't
arts,
let me finish.
the 10 tenets of Taekwondo are honor, courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, courage, community, strength, humility, and knowledge.
I don't need none of that shit. When you're in a Taekwondo tournament, how is it arranged by weight or by height? Okay. Methodological registering of talent in Taekwondo. That is not what I said. How is Taekwondo tournament structured? Taekwondo matches consist of 3 2-minute rounds, each and reach 1 minute between the round. The fighter attempts to knock out the other opponent, scoring points and landing blows on the opponent's torso or head. Kicks are allowed to do both torso and head. Wristless punches only allowed to the body. That didn't answer my question. Alright. What are the weight rules? In Taekwondo, weight class is standardized weight range for Taekwondo practitioners. Upper weight limits to each class maximum. For men, heavyweight is unlimited. Middleweight is 80 and 67 for women. Featherweight is 68 and 57. And beside that, you got 175 and 149 for men. That ain't telling me a goddamn thing. Alright. Taekwondo structure for tournaments. Do you fight by weight class or belt class? See, it still ain't giving me shit. It's giving me the exact same shit. I don't need to know how to train for Taekwondo. I just need the fucking answer to my question. This is why the things that this got the size matter in martial arts. No, it does not. Anyhow, because Google was not my motherfucking friend today, I guess you go by belts as well as weight class. So I really don't know, and I'm not gonna sit here and fucking lie to you, as Google sure as fuck wouldn't give me the answers that I fucking need. So let's say, for instance, we both got black belts. You're 225, I'm 147. But we're the same size. We're both 6 foot even. Alright, so are they going by weight class, or are they going by belt class, or are they going by height and reach? Alright? So I don't know how that shit works. But I know how it works in the fucking real world. Because in the real world, Nobody gives a fuck that I'm 5'3.5". Nobody. When they're mad as hell and they're fixing to come rearrange my dental work, the fact that I'm 5'3.5" is not going to stand in their fucking way. At all. And that's fine. Because I'm not going to give a flying fuck either. I'm 5'3.5". I know I'm short. But you know, I'm also one of them people that's going to say, hey, your size matters to you. It's just an obstacle for me. I talk about things like this all the time. I talk about range fighting. If you're 6'7", I have to get in to hit you. You can toe push kick me all motherfucking day long if we are in a tournament. You can toe push kick me, control the range. I won't be able to score now 1 point if you know how to work your body. If you don't know how to work your body, then I got your ass all motherfucking day. I just got to get in and put some licks in and I'm going to win this bitch. Now, if we're in a street fight, like a straight street fight, I got you all fucking day if you don't know how to use your body. If you don't know how to use this or your body, that fight is mine from Jump Street. I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to Roman Reigns Superman punch your shit. And technically, it's a Captain America punch because Superman already flies and he flies with both of his fists out. That punch initially came from Captain America. The Marine fucked it up and called it the Superman punch because he's obviously not a Marvel fan. But anyway, the whole fucking point is I'm not going to be that damn dumb to leap at somebody who's 6'7" in the air. That's a really dick move, and it also opens up the door for me getting body slammed. Understand a few things about fighting. Gravity is not my friend. It's not yours either. If I can control the range, if I can bait you in, your ass is mine. Without question, without remorse, your ass is mine. And I know you're all thinking, how you figure that, Grey Wolf? It's really quite simple. I'm short. The only way for me to hit you is I gotta get in. The only way for you to hit me is 2 ways. Especially if you're over 6 feet. You gotta control the range. But you can't just control your range. You gotta control my range. And if you can't control both ranges, you can hang it up. You literally, honestly, truly to God, can hang it, slam the fuck up. Because how you control the range of a fight is going to determine if you can control the fight. And if you can't control the fight's going to control you. And you are more than likely going to get your ass kicked. Now, understanding how that works, you'll understand where I'm coming from. And if you don't understand where I'm coming from, well, they always talk about fuck around and find out, and that's how you pretty much learn. Now, before we go, let's recap this whole belt system. Alright? Let's recap this whole thing because the simple fact is that, in all honesty, if you're in a tournament, you're fighting for a belt. Alright? And that belt means everything to that company, whether it's UFC, WWE, AEW, whatever. It's a sports tournament, which is why that belt means everything to everybody in that damn spot. There's biting for a position to get that belt. Alright? So you can be a UFC champion and still walk right down the middle of fucking Main Street and get your ass beat by somebody who's never been in a fight a day in their life. It can happen. Don't think that it can't. You could be a wrestling champion, a taekwondo champion. You could be any kind of motherfucking champion there is. That does not guarantee you a motherfucking victory. It guarantees you a victory in that ring or on that mat or in that cage. You know why it guarantees you the victory? That's what you wanted. The motherfucker that's fighting you in the street, they just want to go home. They just want to live. That's a little bit more important than any goddamn belt that you own. If I'm walking down the street and a UFC fighter says, I'm going to fuck you up. Like, look, man, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to go home. And the motherfucker says, you can't hurt me. The first time you think that somebody can't hurt you because you looked dead at them and saw that they were 3 times smaller than you and weaker than you physically, that's going to be the last day that you ever do something correctly on earth. Unless that person is not a fighter and they try to run, or unless that person is a fighter and it's just not their day to beat your ass. But that doesn't mean they can't beat your ass. Understand, everybody can get their ass beat. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's up to you. But everybody can get their ass beat. You know, me, you, everybody watching it. You can get your ass beat. And if you haven't had your ass beat at least one time, you probably ain't been in a fight with somebody like my older sibling. My big sister used to beat my ass on a motherfucking daily. That's why I'm tough as nails now. But no man has beaten my ass in a real fight. And I ain't gonna sit there and let that shit happen. I don't give a flying fuck if we kin to each other or not. I'm gonna end your shit because you a man. Now, I would never fight a woman for real unless it's in the movie script. Other than that, no. But keep that shit in mind. Belts, regardless of what entertainment or sport thing that you do for a living, they only count in the entertainment and sports thing that you do for a living. In the streets, nobody gives a fuck if you got a black belt. Because a rock, a stick, a firearm, a knife, that can up the ante and change the fact that you got that shit. Because if I can't beat you, I'm going to kill you. Because that's how I roll. I don't have to beat you to kill you. That's where a lot of people fuck shit up at life. Oh, I can beat you. I can beat you. Yeah, you can. You can beat me. But I can kill you. And that is the difference maker. Keep that shit in mind. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. You don't have to beat anybody to kill them. And it's a hell of a lot easier to kill somebody by accident than doing it on purpose. Keep that in mind too. I am Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. If I offended anybody, I'm sorry. Peace seeing you.